In Armenia, you had a family of 6 that was recently murdered by a Russian soldier. Armenia has many military bases in Russia. I'm sorry, the reverse. Armenia does not have military bases in Russia. Russia has military bases in Armenia. Now, this murder created a lot of controversy in Armenia, specifically because under the arrangement that's there, it was expected, Armenians expected the soldier to be tried under Armenian law. The Russian military didn't agree with that, and the Armenian government wasn't supporting the prosecution. They were basically agreeing with the Russians from how it was passed down, and that resulted in protests across the country.
What is interesting that out of all Caucasian countries, whereas Georgia, Azerbaijan, Armenia is the country who is considered to be the biggest ally of Russia in the region, and that's why this anti-Russian protest, more or less, is rather a surprise. So we're calling, and we are calling Yerevan, the capital of Armenia, to talk, in order to talk to Stepan Grigoryan, a political analyst.
And part of the reason this is so relevant is that, you know, when we look at Ukraine and we have Maidan, the issue is this Eurasian Economic Union, which is Russia's rival to the European Union, which Armenia has joined and has really, the government has put a high value on relations with Russia.
But what is also interesting in the Ukrainian case, we remember that Maidan in Ukraine, it started with the fact that the former president turned down the association agreement with Europe. Armenia was the country which also was preparing to sign it, but 3 months before Ukraine, it also dropped because of the Russian pressure. So, and this protest sign, it's more or less a question if the population of Armenia is more or less disagreeing with the government listening to Russia.
And it's interesting because you have 2 countries that they've diverged on this issue of being a part of Russia's economic bloc, where you had Ukraine, which was planning to join, you know, the European Union's Free Trade Association, and then took a step back and is now expected to join again with delayed, you know, they signed all the paperwork, but it's delayed for a year going there. Armenia then went the other direction and became a member of the Eurasian Economic Union. But now you have these protests, and the question is whether or not it'll stay focused on this one issue, if it's a popular dissent, or if it'll affect the government in the direction that it's moving in.
So I wonder if we actually trying to get our not a colleague, but the person from the analytical center, of the chairman of the analytical center on globalization and regional cooperation. So to have more details, but that's what we try to.
We're hoping to have Stepan Grigoryan to give us to educate us a little bit about Armenia, which we've now found on a map, so we have it here.
Yeah, we do have Stepan, and it's very late there now, so there is a time difference. So we thanks a lot, Stepan, for being with us at this late hour in Yerevan. And our first question is more or less, is there any sign of why this Russian soldier went on his shooting spear? What happened?
No, first of all, I would say you about some words about Russia-Armenian relations to have a wider picture. Our citizens connect with Russia many things, and the security system and other issues. We welcomed our citizens, and political forces welcomed our membership in Eurasia Union, Economic Union. We are with Russia in a security system, CSTO, and so on. We connect with Russia many things, and first of all, our security system. And why it was shock for our society, these brutal killings, when Russia soldier killed 6 our citizens, 1 family members. We don't think that it can be. We think that Russia helps us, Russia saved our security. And this was the main reason why we are in a shock today. And in the same time, the soldier killed the baby. You know, in our mentality, it's very hard that only in Ottoman Empire 100 years ago was killed the Armenian baby. But now, reality shows that Russian soldiers killed Armenian families, 6 persons, and in the same time the Armenian baby. Why real we are in a shock?
But Stepan, the question is, what repercussion could this incident have for the Russian-Armenian relations in general? Because at this time, also especially in Kiev, everybody follows on the Kremlin relations to all former post-Soviet countries, and so is still Yerevan the sphere of influence of Moscow, and how the population treats it, and what is it a serious thing? Will it have an impact on the government and on the citizens?
I want to say this incident is very serious for our society, but the main required was connected with one issue. Armenian citizens, Armenian experts, many political forces said it will be need to transfer these killers, these soldiers, from Russia bases to Armenian police, to Armenian and other governmental institutions. Now you know the soldiers in the Russian military bases. And now the lawsuits are not political. We will resolve this in the framework of judicial system. But if we will continue wrong policy from Russia's side and from our governmental system, maybe after some time our society...
But if I could ask a question real quick too.
Another issue, political issue.
Stepan, I just had a question as well, because obviously, this focuses on the issue with the soldier, whether or not he'll be tried in Armenian court or, taken to Russia and kept in that system. But for me, what's very interesting is that it exposed a disparity, a difference between the Armenian people and the Armenian government in the beginning. And I'm just wondering, with that kind of distancing that's been there, is there a sense that these protests only relate to the one incident with the soldier, or are there other political views and frustrations with the government that are also being expressed through this movement?
First of all, I want to say this protest was connected with this concrete murder. But our government our government steps are very slowly. Our Russia administration of Russia military bases administration did some mistakes. Why now transfer these lawsuits, these meetings, this protest transfer to political area? When we criticize our governmental system steps, we criticize them. It's as a joke was when our prosecutor system office said in Armenia works Russia constitution. It's not a joke, but they said so. They had some statement so time. Why criticization of our government is very high level, and real situation is very tension. Yesterday, two soldiers from Russian military bases had dispute with Armenians in Gyumri and was arrested after that. They was drunk and so on. We had a real tension situation, and it will be need to do quickly steps. If you don't, if our government don't do quickly steps, after the lawsuits will be political.
Well, then I can move larger.
Okay, thanks a lot, Stepan. We're very grateful for you being with us at this late hour.